venture off to do new adventures. Like I want to do things which no one has done before. And it takes a certain element of risk, which is higher than anyone else would actually search for.
When I was 25, I think I became aware I had sort of done what I wanted and I needed to move on. It's been a very slow progression. I'm not crazy, I didn't want to die, and I still don't want to die. But I've realized that it opens my possibilities in my life. I get to access crazy emotions that I wouldn't have without.
So the origin of longboard came from surf. When they didn't have waves, they managed to create a longboard and they put wheels on it. And with the time, skateboard came. And then 15 or 20 years ago, we had what we called longboard dancing, which is a new discipline. We mix surf and skate in a more artistic way.
I used to be a former pro swimmer. I competed in a lot of Swiss championships. I won a couple of those and I competed at international levels for Switzerland, World Cups, World Champs and European Champs. And now I'm a triathlete and open water swimmer. I moved away from actually, as I said, in swimming you always chase the next medal and all these kind of things, and now it's completely different. Now you try to take a certain element of more risk that you want to do. You want to be a pioneer in something and then venture off to new heights. But there it's less needed or wished that you want to beat someone else. It's more for yourself that you actually be there the first or accomplish something which no one has accomplished before.
The amount of risk-taking and the choices are a big part of our discussions with James when we climb. I think it helps to be two people because sometimes you have a tunnel vision when you're alone and you think sometimes you think it's too dangerous and sometimes you're the other way around, you just think it's totally fine and you haven't seen like this. And you need this other person to just tell you, hold on, you need to think a bit more about that. I'm Caroline Ciavaldini, I'm French, I'm a professional climber. I come from the world of competition climbing. From 16 to 25, I often call that my first life as a climber. I did a lot of competitions, the World Cup circuits of the IFSC Federation. I did the World Championship. Basically, the whole of my life was focused on just competition. I wouldn't say I was the best, for sure, but I was amongst the best. And when I was 25, I think I became aware I had sort of done what I wanted and I needed to move on. I thought I was going to go back to, let's call it a normal life, as I have a diploma as a teacher. But then I randomly met a guy. He's my husband now. So he still is a pro climber, but who never did a single competition. So he's a climber like I was, but kind of like the other side of the spectrum of the big climbing world. So we knew nothing about each other's world. His world was all about risk-taking and adventure climbing. Nowadays, I've got children. One of my biggest fears, obviously, is one of them dying. it's petrifying. And to be honest, I don't really have a solution for that. I can't see my life going past it, but I've got 2 children. I know I will pull myself together no matter what, because there is the other child. I know I can do it, and that's helpful. I think there are so many things in life that are really scary, and sometimes we don't have the tools, and I feel like because of all the things that I do in climbing, I sort of have the tools for the rest of my life. I don't think I'm seeking fear, I'm seeking control. Self-control. Like knowing that I can do it. That whatever the situation, I'll be able to pull myself out of it.
In Nice, I didn't know how to speak French, and it was for me a way to express myself without talking. And yeah, it's just amazing to feel this way with an object. Longboard literally saved my life in a lot of aspects. It helped me to create my identity, to find new friends, to actually have a second family, which is my friends. I skate with them every day for 4 or 5 hours. My name is Marina Correa. I'm 26 years old, and I was born in Cape Verde, and I came to Nice when I was 14 years old, and I fell in love with longboard dancing when I was 17, and I became a world champion in 2020 and vice world champion in 2021. And since then, I just skate all the time. I just have fun with my friends, and I try to share my passion with all the people I see in my daily life. And longboard dancing, it's a mix. For me, it's a mix between surf and skate. It's a board like bigger than a skateboard, and we dance on it, like we use our body to express ourselves while we're doing tricks on it. In order for me to win, to be in the top 3, I have a different approach as, I don't know, maybe other athletes. I concentrate on my own energy. I won't be concentrated by something that someone else is doing. It's always all about me. I'm concentrating on my own energy and trying to have fun as much as possible. Even when I fall, I'll be just smiling and just making fun of myself and try to do better next time. I used to criticize myself a lot, and it was very painful for me because I was like my own enemy. I was judging myself, criticizing myself, and then I changed. I started to just having fun. I wasn't thinking about the tricks I was doing. It was all about, okay, you know how to do this trick, let's just do it. And you have to learn another one, okay, just having fun while you're doing it. And yes, I started to feel very light. It wasn't heavy because it was heavy, but then when I changed like my strategy, it was very light. I was actually feeling myself. I was actually appreciate what I was doing, and I feel the real change.
I mean, I started swimming, and then you get into the national team, and then it's only getting higher and higher and better, and becoming the world champ or whatever. That is the goal, and so you always chase the goal. And now it's different because it's now it's actually following like your balance, some sort of. I do everything for myself. I did it for myself before as well, and now I do it even more for myself. I do my sport for myself. I mean, it's still nice to win medals and then to be the best in something, but now it's more to chase a new adventure. It was actually a friend of mine who pointed me at triathlon, and actually he wanted to do, on his bucket list, it was always to do a triathlon, an Ironman, and so I should help him with the swim. And at some point he told me, listen, why don't you do it as well? And by the end of the conversation I was doing it as well, and started to record everything. And as being former pro, you can't really just be there, you also want to be good at it, and so the whole journey to be one of the best in that as well. I work in finance. I have my own company. I look after family's money or invest family's money, and well, it is demanding because you never know what the day brings. On the one hand, you need to follow the market, and then you need to look what you do in that area. On the other hand, you need to help the clients with their needs and fulfill their wishes, as such as when they want to buy houses or companies or other things. So you need to be ready whenever, but also it gives me freedom with it, you know. I need to be ready when my client needs me, and I need to some sort of follow the markets and follow everything if I can, but I can do that wherever I am. So that gives me, on the one hand, flexibility, but also demands a lot of time. So it's a 24/7 job, actually.
How do I manage to be a good mom and to be a good athlete? And I felt like I had to separate my brain into two people, actually, one after the other. And I was struggling to find the balance, but I can see now that being a mom, it has forced me to become way more patient. I was not a patient person, but I mean, kiddos, this is what they do. And it has allowed me to be more patient with my projects in climbing. Like I'm okay to take 2 years to work on a route, and I was never able to do that. Careful, Arthur! To go much further than that, I think when you're a young athlete, you're just an athlete, and sometimes you have the pressure of not succeeding. I've become a mom, and there is this enormous part of me who basically doesn't really care about how well I'm going to do climbing. I want to climb, but whether I actually succeed in my project or not, it won't change anything in my everyday life. My children want me to play, they want me to read a book, and I can't be moaning the whole day because I didn't manage my project. So I had to find a way to be happy no matter how well I was performing in climbing. And somehow this has allowed me to perform better. So basically it has released the pressure of failing. I always wanted to be a parent. Maybe this is where I'm not out of my conditioning. It was an obvious reality for me. And I never really thought that it would have to tone down my risk-taking. It's strange, I know, but I've realized that this is actually something I really want to teach my children. If they choose the road with a little bit more risk, they choose also the road with a lot more happiness. And it's really quite scary as a parent to make this educational choice for your children, because you're always afraid that they're going to hurt themselves and it's going to hurt you. But you also, mainly you want them to be like living life to the fullest.
Well done. Well done. Good goal.
I used to struggle a lot with my athlete life and my private life because I didn't know how to separate both of them. I was mixing my private life and my athlete life, and then I start to think how to improve something new, something that I'm able, something that I'm comfortable as an athlete, as a person. Because most of the time, people, when they come to you, when they talk to you, they speak to you as an athlete, Marina as a skater. They forget that you are human too. So for me, the best way to just find myself again, it was going back to my hometown in Cape Verde, where people, they know that I skate, I'm very known there, but I can also find myself as a kid. When I was a kid, I was born there. So I found myself there. And here in Nice, it's just doing stuff without my board. I don't know, maybe go at a friend's house, travel. I try to always find a moment that I don't have my board with me. I can just do activities without my board. And I don't know, maybe write, reading, listen to music. I just go outside without my board. I go to gym. Yes, I try to travel a lot, and especially, go into my hometown to find my true self. I had a moment in my life where I wasn't in love with my board anymore. I wanted to stop because I was listening a lot of what other people were saying about me. I let them try in my life. I let them be in my life, and I think it was like the biggest mistake I've ever made. And I found a way to get back on my board. It was the easiest way. I was just thinking why I've started. And when I was thinking about why I've started, I got that magic thought. It was just because I love it. And I remember myself that I have to know how to have fun and appreciate the fact that I'm able to skate. I was just back to source. I can say I'm a role model to a few people who skate with me, especially little girls, because they see in me kind of strength they can also see someone who wants to succeed, who is just in love with longboard. And yeah, it makes me happy because when I started, I didn't have a role model. I started by myself. And for me now to see young girls and young boys who skates and they see me as a role model, like worldwide, it actually feels like great.
I train about 2 to 4 hours a day, swimming, cycling, running, also gym. I do that around my work schedule, which is quite busy as well. So what I do actually is mainly, when it comes to swim, I do most of my training I do in the pool. So I go for 2 hours to the pool and 2 to 3 hours to the pool and do my sessions there. Then in the cycling, on the one hand, you get some training in on the turbo trainer, which is stationary at home, and on the other hand, you try to go into the field and just do nice long tours and get the volume in. And on the running side, you try to do a mixture between intervals and long runs. I'm a very driven person, and this is due to a cool thing. Now I see it as a cool thing, a superpower. It's my ADHD. And whereas it gave me a lot of unrest when I was a child, and I was not a good student or nothing at all. Through sport, I learned how to handle it, and I learned how to cope with it. And nowadays, it's a superpower how to actually balance both, to focus on two things at the same time, and channel the energy to these two things which are in my life. I see it always that I had a sports career, and now I have a second sports career, and before I had school and trained and did all that, and now I could concentrate on two things, and afterwards it was just for some time it was just work and just doing that, but I was always on rest, right, again, and somehow getting back into the sport. It helped me focus on my work on the one hand, but also being good at something else, and so that's why I have the two things now.
I think because I've been a comp climber when I was young, I've had to handle fear from the beginning. Because when you're starting a final in front of 10,000 people, you're petrified. You're so afraid of failing. You have to learn to handle the fear. And I developed my own little methods. My method has always been focus closer, you know? It's like there is all that, and this scares you, this scares you, this scares you. And focus closer and just look at the roots. Look at the movements and the happiness and the joy that you have in trying these movements. Focus on the happy emotions. And also I hold on to like a happy memory, and I used to have a certain type of music that would like condition me. So it's, yeah, all these little tricks. So I knew how to do that. And then I transferred all these skills into the fear of, well, killing yourself. It's slightly different, obviously, because, well, it's more scary. But the tools that I'm using are very similar. So it's basically, I really feel like it's about becoming super aware of the emotions that are going on in your brain. Sometimes it's accepting, you know, like, okay, I'm petrified. I'm really scared because, let's say, my dad is in the crowd and I don't want to fail in front of him. And then instead of just closing and just being afraid, look at it, you know, like right in the eyes. Why am I afraid? Because my dad's here and he will love me even if I fail. And then suddenly, once you really have this conversation with yourself, it's not so scary anymore. And once you've really explored that, then you can put it aside and move on to the next fear. And like kind of basically a lot of discussions with yourself until the point where you know that you have it. All of this, you can control it, so you're ready. Yeah, so I had to realize that the only way I can be happy every single day while working a project is by being kind to myself. I need to focus on what I'm learning and not how well I'm performing, because it doesn't really depend just on me, but what I'm learning, like how I learn to handle the fear, how I learn to manage my time, how do I handle my emotions in general. I'm learning a lot of things there, and this is, I mean, when you end up your day having solved one of these issues, you should be proud of yourself. Even if you haven't done the route, it doesn't matter doing the route. I mean, it's just a piece of rock after all.
I am willing to take a lot of risks, and you have to take risks. Without investment, there is no gain. If I don't invest in something, you won't gain anything. If you don't get up and put yourself out there, you will not get further ahead in life, and this is the main thing. But you also will face failure in your life. So, and this is what I do. If people say now, oh, if I go now to Hamburg, or last year when I went to Hamburg and I didn't qualify for Kona, and out of a 3-hour 30 run, it became a 6-hour run, yes, that was a failure. But listen, I go back, I come back a year later, and I'm gonna try again. And this is what it is. And the journey just got more adventurous, it was more filled with more impressions, with more life from other people I got to know, people like you guys, things I could do, and this is the thing about it. So I never lose. I either win or I learn.
When I'm scared, I think about stuff that I've already done. And I say to myself, oh, you were scared that day, but you managed to do it. So right now it's the same thing. Just don't think about it and just go for it. And it helps me to just do it.
I think I've learned that risk-taking, if you refuse that, you will have to stay in very small life and you're gonna miss so many opportunities. Of course, you're gonna have to go out of your comfort zone, but you will grow so much, you will learn so much, you will change who you are as a person, and I mean, actually, that's what we want, no? We want to evolve and not stay the same idiot that we were when we were 20.